Yo, what's going on YouTube? I'm here today to do a review of Hunter x Hunter, episode 129. Now, I'm sorry about the lighting. It's my mother bought a yellow bug light for outside on the porch, and then my light blue, so I have to use it for a little while. So that's why the lighting may not be so great. But this episode was heavily based around Poof trying to get shit together before the king gets there, so the king wouldn't remember about Komogi. All right, so basically the whole time he breaks his clones into even smaller clones, almost like they're basically the particles you've seen him use to escape the Smoky jail with. And basically, he's searching for Komugi, but he doesn't want to let the enemy know. But Killua and what's her name? You know, the chick with the freaking bulb on her head. I can't think of her name right now, but basically, that Palm, that's her name. Killua and Palm split up with Killua having Komugi and Palm going towards Melarion, because when they weren't sure if they were looking for the traitor Melarion or if they were looking for Komugi. So basically, what they did was they attacked. All right, they split up. That way, the clones would have to make a choice on where to go. And basically, Poof decided, hey, I have to kill Komugi before the king finds out about this. So he gathered all his clones and went after Killua. And the whole time he was going after Killua, you seen, or this was a bit prior to this actually, you seen Poof talking to the king and explaining to the king how he knew about APR. And then we got to see a little bit of the king's new power. He went into Yuppie's berserk mode and got a big ass weird muscles on his arms and fired something like a beam out of his hand, like almost looks like a yellow Gallic gun. But it basically it was like a mini nuke once it finally hit. But the APR was unaffected by it, obviously, and he continued to chase Poof and them. And then the king's like, hey, I don't understand why this enemy left. He's like, we made a deal. And I felt as though if I broke that promise, I would have lost in some way. And I will accept any punishment that you want to give me. He said, I only asked you to tell the truth. I don't feel the need to punish you now. I feel like this is just a trial, that it's something we have to overcome to obtain the next level of evolution. So basically, he was accepting his emotional, um, yeah, I forget what it says. Basically accepting his emotions and as a downplay. But he says once we reach the pinnacle of evolution, that'll be nothing more than a small wild card in the evolutionary chain to reach the pinnacle. Alright, so they continue to go forth, and the king reaches the castle. No, hold on. Yuppie, not Yuppie, but Poof is fighting Killua. And then Poof tries to play some mind games to get Komugi to fight back and actually manages to do it and tries to attack Komugi and almost kills him. Alright, and then Killua set her down. He's like, obviously you're not after me, and then drew a circle around Komugi and him with lightning. And he's like, if you enter this circle, then I'll kill you. And then so Yuppie, obviously, yeah, he went balls in, tried to attack Killua, and then Killua burnt like half of his face, or a good portion of his face off, like that much of his face, and was like, "You've separated your body into small clones, and they're still cells. As long as you burn the cells, they'll still die." So he basically killed off a little bit of Poof by knocking out one of his clone's eyes, and Poof had actually materialized into his, a large size clone, and basically Killua did a decent amount of damage to that clone. And then all of a sudden you seen the king had arrived at the castle and noticed all of the slaves, but then he started envisioning something that was Komogi, but it was kind of blacked out, like it was being foreshadowed. And you've seen nothing, like, you've seen nothing that the king would know about. And then they explained to him, look, humans, as far as the eye can see, they're all yours to rule over at the top of the food chain. And then Poof came to a realization that the king knew there was something missing the king knew there was something missing. He announced it, and Poof came to the realization that the shoji pieces were in the room that the king was always staying in. So So Poof immediately stopped pursuing Killua, broke into his smallest forms, and ran towards the castle trying to find all the shoji pieces and destroy them before the king was able to see them. And then he's probably going to go back and um, try to kill Komugi. But he hasn't yet. Komugi is at least some ways from the king. She is slightly outside of the castle. Slightly outside of the castle, and the king probably really has no reason to search there because the king's already said that he's going to search around the castle to find remnants of anything that may help him regain his memory even further. Alright, and then at the end of the episode, it cuts to Gon and Neferpito. Basically, they're going back to the other city where Kite is at, and they're almost there. You're seeing them looking at the outskirts of the area that they're supposed to go into, where there's woods, and he's like, he's over there, let's go. And then it cuts off into the extra. So overall, this episode, it had character progression for the king. A great deal of character progression for the king. We have plot progression as of what the king's intentions are, what Poof's intentions are, and we have plot progression by Gon and Pito actually reaching the area where Kite said to be. So overall, this episode was really all around good. There wasn't any fighting, but you can't really give it a bad review because there's no fighting. I mean, other than, Killua and Poof. I mean, Knuckle tried to attack Poof, but Knuckle was, like, basically ignored because Knuckle obviously wasn't his target anymore. So we got to see a good bit of progression and character development. Overall, this episode, I'll have to say, it's like a 9 out of 10. It was a great episode, guys. That's my thoughts on it. Peace.